Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I haven't actually filmed over here in a few days, so I thought that I would jump on here today. I'm not feeling great. I feel like I'm getting sick or something. I don't know, but I'm trying to push through it by filming some videos, and then I'm just going to rest and relax tonight. But I wanted to jump on here and read some meditation, so I brought both of the Melody Beatty books with me today, The Language of Letting Go and Journey to the Heart, my two favorite meditation books in the entire world. And since I haven't read over here in a couple days, I'll probably have a lot of options because I'm going to go back through and look at the last couple days. Today is November 14th. Let's see what today's meditation is. Today's meditation is letting our anger out. That one might be a really good one for me today. And the one before that was taking care of ourselves. I might read both of those back. Actually, I'm just going to not even look into this. I'm just going to read those back to back. These are two things that I'm dealing with right now. Before I even get into this, let me just say this. So, I had therapy the other day, and one of the things I'm dealing with is that I feel very stuck right now in my life. I don't even really know how to explain it. I'm waking up in the mornings, I'm not feeling super motivated. I push through it to the other side, but then I still feel kind of stuck. So I had a therapy session about it. Interestingly enough, my husband and I had a long talk about it. We both are kind of feeling very similar with that. And I think it's very much the end of an era, that for a very long time, it's not just the grieving of Boo Radley, but it's really the grieving of an era. Because ever since Alex and I have been together, we've had dogs, and Boo and Tucker and Pee-Pee were a huge part of our lives for 16 years. And now it's gone from that to nothing. And then the last 6 to 8 weeks before, Boo Radley passed away was taking intensive care of him every single day. And I kind of feel a little bit like I've lost my purpose. The reason why I said the anger one would be good for me to read is because at first, when Boo Radley passed away, our little dog, I was feeling very, very angry. And it wasn't even misdirected. Maybe it was, I don't know. But it wasn't, I couldn't tell you what I was angry about. When my mom passed away, there was a period where I was feeling anger, and it's a stage of grief, and I understand that. But it was, misdirected was maybe the wrong word, misplaced anger. But I can remember being angry at God at that time, because I was I couldn't be mad at my mom, although I think a lot of people are. They feel like they're left behind or abandoned. I didn't feel that way with my mom. And I couldn't really be mad at anybody. There wasn't anybody that did anything wrong, And so I just was kind of mad at God. I didn't really know where else to direct my anger. I was kind of why would you take the one person that I'm the closest to in my entire life, I don't know that I think that things in life necessarily make sense. With Tucker and Pee-Pee when they passed, and my aunt and uncle and a lot of friends of mine, I don't know that I ever experienced anger in the stages of grief. And I'm not somebody that necessarily believes that you go through all the stages of grief, or that the stages of grief by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross are that they happen in the order that they sometimes don't happen for years and years and years. I don't know. But all I know is that I didn't, except for with my mom, really experience anger. With Boo Radley, I was pissed. I was pissed right away. And I don't know, I believe that anger is a secondary emotion and that it's really hiding other things. I think that my pain was so deep at first that I really didn't know what to do with it. And so the only way that I could make sense out of my pain was to turn it into anger, which is not healthy for me as a person in recovery. I don't have the luxury to have anger and hatred in my heart. And so it was this weird place for me, because I'm not somebody that is full of anger very often. I'm not. I work through it. I inventory it. I talk to my sponsor, my therapist about it. I have a support group of people around me that I love, that I talk to about it. It's not that's a place that I stay for very long. It's not healthy for me to stay in anger and hate for very long. I don't know that I felt hatred. I felt anger. I felt irritable. I felt like at any moment I could just go off about something, right? Now, I'm not necessarily there today. I've kind of worked through that a little bit. One of the things that is interesting, though, is that before, one of the things that helped when the dogs passed was looking at pictures and videos. I'm not there yet with Boo Radley. A little bit every night I'll look at a couple pictures. I'm still really, really struggling. I'm not in denial. I know that he's gone. He's not coming back. But I still, I'm struggling, almost kind of I know that if I go down that road, the pain is going to be so heavy, and I'm not really sure that I'm willing to deal with it. But I also know that I have to go through that pain to get to the other side. And I almost kind of think, and this is going to sound strange, I don't want to go through the pain because I don't want to be on the other side. Because once I go to the other side, it's all over. That era is over. The dogs are over. And I'm not really sure I want to move through that pain. It's one of the things I talked to my therapist about the other day. I'm not really sure I want to go through that. I'm not really sure that I'm ready for it to be over yet. And so maybe I'm holding on to grief a little bit, you know? But in all of this, one of the things that I have found is that I'm not very good at taking care of myself. I can tell everybody else in the world how to do self-care. When it comes to me, I'm not great at it. I don't really know how to do self-care and how to take care of. It's one of the things I was talking to my therapist about the other day. I said, give me some suggestions. He's like, well, you know about, so I was like, I don't know when it comes to me, you know? And one of the things that he suggested to me, because I feel lost, I feel stuck, I don't know what's next, is he said, every day that you wake up, if you're not feeling motivated, just film your vlog. Don't film a whole lot. Well, that's so contrary to what I know, you know? Like, I woke up today, didn't feel super motivated today, you know? But I was like, I know to get out of it for me, to make videos and laugh and talk and read meditations or do something funny, like, I know for me, that's a way to get out of it, right? Other than just sitting here and dwelling on it. So I started making videos. And that works for me. My walks have been really helping me. Talking to people, you know, has been really helping me. That's what I know as far as self-care. But past that, like, I don't know, I just kind of feel stuck and honestly very tired. So I'm not that great at self-help or self-care. So I think that these 2 meditations will probably be really good for me. November 13th, taking care of ourselves. This is from yesterday. We do not have to wait for others to come to our aid. We are not victims. We are not helpless. Letting go of faulty thinking means we realize there are no knights on white horses, no magical grandmothers in the sky watching, waiting to rescue us. Teachers may come our way, but they will not rescue. They will teach. People who care will come, but they will not rescue. They will care. Help will come, but help is not rescuing. We are not our own rescuers. Or we are our own rescuers. Our relationships will improve dramatically when we stop rescuing others and stop expecting them to rescue us. Today I will let go of the fears and self-doubt that block me from taking assertive action in my best interest. I can take care of myself and let others do the same for themselves. Well, I know that. That's not what I wanted to hear, Melanie Beatty. I know that. Like, I know that I need to take care of myself and rescue myself. I just don't know how to do it, I think, you know? And yet at the same time, like, I do know that I just need to feel it, and I need to cry. And if I feel angry, I need to feel angry. And if I feel sad, I need to feel sad. And I just need to move through the emotions. I do know that to be true for me. I think that one of the things for me that's so hard is I'm not ready to let go yet, you know? Even though I'm fully aware of the reality and the circumstances, I'm not ready to let go of it. And I know that, like, in the past, in grieving, when I've moved through the pain to the other side, and I felt the feelings, and I felt the emotions, and I processed it, and I processed all of that, that there was a part of the forgetting, right? Where each day that went further, like, those people and those animals would forever be in my life, but there was a little bit of forgetting that happened each day. And I think that that's healthy, you know, to continue to live your life. I think you have to do that. But I think that I'm in this period where I don't necessarily want to forget. I'm not talking about you forget them completely, because you never do. You'll hold on to those memories forever. But I think it's just natural as time goes on and life goes on, and we'll get another dog at some point, and that it won't be like it was just yesterday. And there's a part of me that feels like it was just yesterday, and I'm not really sure that I'm ready to let go of that yet. And I know that that's not super healthy, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Okay, so let's get into the letting our anger out. I'm laughing because these meditations I usually process, and you guys are like, oh, this was so helpful for you, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, I'm the one that needs the help today, you know? Letting our anger out, November 14th. This is today's. It's okay to be angry, but it isn't healthy to be resentful. Amen. Regardless of what we learned as children, no matter what we saw role modeled, we can learn to deal with our anger in ways that are healthy for us and for those around us. We can have our angry feelings. We can connect with them, own them, feel them, express them, release them, and be done with them. We can learn to listen to what anger is telling us about what we want and need in order to take care of ourselves. Sometimes we can even indulge in angry feelings that aren't justified. We talk about justifiable anger a lot in recovery. Feelings are just feelings. There is no morality in the feeling, only in our behavior. We can feel angry without hurting or abusing others or ourselves. We can learn to deal with anger in ways that benefit our relationships instead of ways that harm them. If we don't feel our angry feelings today, we will need to face them tomorrow. Today I will let myself feel my anger. I will express my anger appropriately without guilt. Then I will be done with it. I think that's the most powerful sentence. Then I will be done with it, because I feel done with it. I don't feel angry now the way that I did 2 weeks ago. I think it was easier for me And if you've ever felt that kind of anger, and when we talk about grief, we're not just talking about grief of like losing a person or a pet, but like grief of a job, losing a job or leaving a job, or grief of moving from one place to another, one state to another, or leaving college, or, moving out for the first time, or leaving a friendship or a romantic relationship, or for whatever reason, There's a lot of different grief that happens in the world. Grief is our expression of endings, right? And I've always been somebody that has really, ever since I've been sober, been able to pretty much deal with my grief or process it. I think this came as such a surprise because the anger wasn't expected. I expected sadness. I expected overwhelming sadness. But I didn't expect anger. And I think what I realized in that moment was anger was a controllable emotion for me. Anger felt, and I think I talked about this a couple videos ago over here, but anger felt empowering to me, whereas sadness felt weak. And I think that in this moment where Boo had been sick for so long, or not so long, but 6 weeks, and I felt powerless in that moment, and then Boo passed away, I wanted to feel empowered. And I think that anger was the way for me to feel empowered. But I don't feel good when I feel angry. Like I said, it's something that I got from my best friend Tanya. Anger and hatred in my heart are not healthy. They're not like, I cannot have peace and serenity and anger. They don't exist in the same space for me. I can't have peace and serenity and anger and hatred in the same moment, right? So I can process that feeling, I can feel through it, I can live it, and I can move through it, but I can't stay stuck in it. Staying stuck in anger and hatred and it wasn't even really hatred, it was just anger. And it was like misplaced anger because it wasn't at anything or anyone. I just felt angry. I felt irritable, It's I don't know why I just thought of this. It's like the moment in Steel Magnolias when Sally Field says, I want to hit somebody. I just want to hit somebody. I want to make them feel the way that I feel. That's how I felt. I wasn't angry at anyone or anything. I just was angry. And it was the first time that I'd felt like that after a loss in a very, very long time. It was an unrecognizable feeling to me, And I think even at 52 years old, it's scary when, I'm aware of anger. Anger is not an unrecognizable feeling to me. But it's like if you go to, Ryan's breakfast buffet and they have steak on the buffet and you're expecting pancakes because it's a breakfast buffet. It wasn't the emotion I was expecting to feel. I was expecting to feel overwhelming sadness. And instead I felt angry. And it felt weird to me, And I think that's where the self-care comes in. And I did talk to people about it. And I said, I feel angry. I don't know where this feeling's coming from. It's not making any sense to me. I don't get it, And people were like, I get it. I felt the same way, I get it. But I'm getting to the other side. And I think part of it for me is, one of the things I had to remember in this situation is, because like my therapist said the other day when I was talking to him in my session, I'm not just grieving the loss of Boo Radley. I'm grieving the loss of an era of 3 dogs. He was the last of our 3 dogs that we had together, and they were a little pack that ran around together. Not only that, it's the end of an era for Alex and I, And he was also like the last thing that existed from my old life before the accident. And then also, since the accident, Tucker passed away 2 months after that, 3 months after that. And so it's been Boo and I at home every single day alone, And so it's grieving what my old life looked like, now what my new life is looking like, and it's stepping into that. One of the things I've always told people with grieving, because people reach out to me all the time and they'll be like, you've gone through a lot of grief, like what do you suggest? Is that to sit in it and allow yourself to feel the emotion, not for hours on end, but say, okay, for the next half an hour, I'm going to listen to sad music, I'm going to allow myself to cry, I'm going to look at pictures. And I know that. And I haven't really allowed myself to do that. So I don't know why it's surprising to me that I'm not moving through it yet. And maybe that's why I needed to do this meditation today, so I could hear that in my own head. And maybe tonight I need to take some time to sit down and just allow myself to look at the pictures and look at the videos and to feel it. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you for allowing me to share that over here. This really helped today. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.